Morning, team. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Back at it again, back at the screens. A solid afternoon yesterday, and we finally got that breakout yesterday, didn't we? That little push to the upside in the afternoon session. After a couple of traps, I did take a short, didn't get squeezed. Took some scalps, and then it rotated long, and most of the team in Discord took that long, and eventually we closed that gap yesterday. It came all the way back up to PDC, and that's where we started finding some failures in the afternoon. Our overnight session, by the looks of it, is just gone into a bit of rotation. Back and forth, cleaning out previous day highs, and then failures above that all the way back downside. So we've got some big key levels to look at today. We've got some decent range in this chart right now, at least 180-point range in the initial range that we're looking at. So as always, we're going to start off in the higher time frames and work down. But before we do that, make sure you're going through your checklist today. Okay, are you feeling emotionally and mentally and physically capable of trading today? It's really, really important you start doing this every single day. Eaten enough, drunk enough, slept enough, etc., etc. If you've got stuff going on outside of trading, is it going to affect you? Have a good hard think about it before you think about sitting at these screens and placing a trade, right? If you went on tilt yesterday, did something stupid yesterday, today is not a day to revenge trade. Today is a day to size down, take it nice and easy. Maybe even sit in your hands, trade sim, build that confidence back up. All right, let's get into higher time frame charts. So daily bar, really important here. Daily bar. Monday, what did we do? We broke the old weekly, monthly, yearly lows and traded back inside. All right, so we stole liquidity, traded inside. What do we have now? We have what we talked about. The Bollinger Band is going to start to be allowed to expand down with this 5-day. That's what I'm looking at. Very, very key if we're going to continue to expand down. If we're going to have that for later in the week or next week or later in the month, we're looking at these levels if we're going to do a new leg down, right? And we're going to do a measured move. We can think about all these things and just go over it here very, very quickly. If we were going to do a measured fib move, all right, if we went from swing high to low to here, and you can see the measured move would be absolutely perfect into that level of liquidity down here. So in terms of higher time frame, that's what I'd like to see. I won't change my narrative for higher time frame bullish until it proves to me it really wants to be bullish. But today, what we focused on, well, we have an inside bar so far. We have a failed break of the high and an inside bar. Here's yesterday's range. Overnight, we just peaked above previous day high and we traded inside. So we're inside all the action from yesterday. What does that equal? Liquidity build. All right, we're not looking for a trend day until it will come, and it can come today. But at the open, there is absolutely no trend in here. Remember, we're not opening outside, so we don't have a gap down with a big push or a gap up with a potential to come and fill this. It might happen later in the day, but it means we've got to be patient, let everyone else make the mistakes, so we have the liquidity to play off. Dialing into this via the hourly so we can get a few more clues. You can see what I'm looking at. Make sure that's viewable for you. I'm going to move this up so it's a little bit more viewable. Okay, hourly. Here you can see yesterday, once we swept the old weekly lows, no acceptance down there, traded inside, created volume on the day. Most volume on the day is at 220 right now. Right in the afternoon, come 2 o'clock on that new 4-hour bar. Funny that on the new 4-hour bar, we had the drive up to backtest old point of control. We talked about this level yesterday. If we got acceptance, we're going to backtest old point of control, which is an old sort of shelf down here where we have buyers, 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 buyers. So far, they're becoming sellers in the market. The key for me today will be that afternoon hold. All right, this overnight low and this gap. If we can hold this sort of Asia, London level, or just a little bit deeper into here, all right, basically 250, 300s. If we can hold this, we have the chance to trade upside to test this again. Failure underneath these levels, and we start getting stuck here, you want to be careful about this move down. All right, because we've built liquidity, and in theory, I don't like that second leg because it happened in Asia, but in theory, we're looking for one. I'd like the second drive higher before we think about doing that. Why would I like the second drive higher? Well, mainly because this was such a big move down, I would like to see us price or reprice some of this structure down here into maybe the golden zone, all right, and be thinking about sells here, which is a bigger level, all right. I'm interested in selling into these if we can get there, if it sets up. Which means, all right, there's possible for a counter trend long today. All right, so either it holds these levels and it moves, does this move here, it fails underneath and it rotates, or after each one of those, or just at the open, if we get acceptance really above 500, there is a move into sort of 620s, 650s. Where's the bottom of this wick? 600s. Through that, we have a big old H1 imbalance. Look how thin it is in here. Very thin, and we've got the old anchor VWAP. All right, so be looking for a move into there, maybe into 720s. If it still keeps going, it's just going to keep running and running and running and running on a squeeze until it's had enough. All right, squeezes can go further than you think. And all that happens only if we get acceptance above the 500s. Until that point, I'm not really thinking about that. But if we get acceptance above the 500s, above the old point of control with a pullback, then I'm thinking, is there a way of joining for a squeeze up? And then once we're up here, soon as we're up into here, I'm risk off. This is runners only. And at some point, I'm thinking about a failure. It might be later in the week. So there's your pathing. That makes it nice and clear. If we want to zoom into the 5 minutes to make it make more sense for you. Here's your old opening gap. We're currently above that. So remember, we gapped down yesterday, flushed down, pivot back up, drive back up, closed to Friday's level, come back down, holding new week opening gap, back up, take out previous day high, flush back down. What are we in here? This is basically a range. Okay, so this is a range. This is building the liquidity. Once we're above and a hold, we can squeeze. Once we're below and fail, we can squeeze. Obviously, each side of that, you have the failure and auction back inside. You have a failure and auction back inside. All right, so I'm watching this very closely. We know it's going to be a range rotation and proves otherwise because we know we're inside yesterday's bars, all right? But this can be bullish rotation with traps if it can do this. Not set on that. I'm not going to get married to that, but that is what I'm thinking about. Bullish rotation to trap liquidity for a drive higher. Let me have a quick look at the M1 so you can see here. So we have a slight gap down right now. Pre-DC will be a trade up to 440. Right now it's starting to build that liquidity already. Inverse kind of head and shoulder for a drive back up to take out this high. If it can absorb there, we can go higher. If it takes it and fails, we come all the way back down. This is range. Remember, range can be nasty to trade in. You want to be trading edges until it proves otherwise for a trend day right now. Having a look at the VIX. All right, VIX has drifted all the way back down off yesterday's highs of almost 25s really. Came down all the way, closed down at sort of 21.64. We've bid up a little bit off that, coming and back testing PDC right now. So what I'm watching on VIX is if it can hold PDC and it puts in some structures there of higher lows on like a 5-10 minute chart, does it want to sort of drift back up and back test 23.85? All right, if it's able to start squeezing higher on the VIX, obviously we're going to see some weakness come into the market. If the VIX is just going to keep letting go of old levels, previous day low, previous day close, etc., then it opens up the gate for that squeeze move on the market. Having a look at the Qs then, very, very similar to what we just talked about, really. I think a break and a hold over 470, 469.70, somewhere around there, opens the door for that move into 473. SPY, very, very similar. All right, a break of, let's just call it 560. A break of 560 opens the gate for a move into 565. So there's 5 points up for grabs there on the SPY. If, these are all big ifs, if they break. ES, very similar as well. You're looking at a break of previous day high, 673. Opens the gate for a move up to 5,712. And that's the bottom of that new range. I'm just going to mark that out for myself. Bear with me, folks. Sorry, I'm having to mark out ES Haven't done that yet on the morning. All right, so everything looking very, very similar across the board. Same structures. Let's move this to a 5-minute and let's have a look at the mag together. I think we've got a bit of a mixed bag in the mag this morning. All right, Apple gapping down. Remember, Apple was very strong yesterday. It was leading that charge yesterday. Gapping down has the ability to create a higher low in here for that drive up if it wants. All right, so any creation of a higher low, some sort of quasi, has the ability to come and do that move. I'd be watching Apple today for a break over 225, basically. Over 225, you see more relief to the upside. But it is gapping down. It is weak so far, but we have to see if they find a bid this morning. Microsoft, exactly the same, gapping down. Again, has the ability to create a higher low somewhere in here. A break of 377.50 basically opens the door for that move back upside. Remember, these are all trying to recover from Friday. We had big sell-off on Friday. Big sell-off yesterday as well, into the open yesterday. Same story here on Amazon, gapping down, but does it create a higher low here, or is this just going to wash all the way back down towards lows? Goog, exactly the same, gapping down underneath PDC. Again, has the ability to try and find some structure here into, let's just call it 55, somewhere around that, 155. Microsoft, these are all the same. These are actually all the same. Currently developing a bear flag, but the same thing. Can it find a bid down here for a rotation back up? Failure under here, we go back towards the lows. This is just like the market, right? These are all like the market. They need to hold these to set this potential squeeze up. Failure under these, we go back to lows. So these are very similar to the market right now. Nvidia, stronger, gapping up here actually, or holding at close. So all the others are like the equivalent of down here. You can see leg one, a little push. Can it hold? These are going to be key today if it gets through this for relief higher. Tesla, again, stronger, gapping up. Look at that gap up. There's PDC, big push coming and filling that gap. If it's going to hold that gap, it's got a possible rotation higher. So most of the mag, other than Nvidia and Tesla, actually gapping down, but the structure is asking the question or posing the question, can they find a higher low in this morning session versus yesterday? That's what we're looking at. That should have you fairly well covered in terms of what we're looking for and the targets. I've got to move this back to NQM now, haven't I? Get my drawings back. There we go. So far, we're building pretty good structure for upside here. Also, other things to note. 10 o'clock. All right, we have news dropping 10 o'clock. That will move the market here today. Also getting very close. You're only a day away from these tariffs now. Okay, so all sorts of stuff coming out yesterday from Trump in the after hours, all sorts of sort of tariff comments. Just be careful, okay? You don't know what he's going to say. Does he start blabbering his mouth about tariffs early and catching the market off guard? It's very possible. He doesn't have a problem doing that at all. So you have to be using hard stops today. Be thinking about your sizing. Be very cautious. No need to go absolutely ham. Remember, we're opening inside bars right now. That's all we're doing. We're opening an inside bar. We expect chop, or at least I expect chop, until this market proves otherwise. Later in the day, I think there is potential that we get a better move. Maybe they do it at the open, who knows? But really, I think we've got to build out some liquidity. Most of you today are bullish, leaning bullish. Some of you a bit more into Chop City. Not many of you bearish yet. That's kind of how I think. I think we're going to build liquidity until we're ready to go. Let's end that poll. And let's get through the morning shout outs. So see who's in this chat today. As always, Clint, the first one in. He's always the first one in. Set the standard now. Good morning, Miguel, Jay Canup one, Jeff, Ramus, Logan, Leron, Ryan, Coop, Jesse M, Marek, Julian, JD Florida Man, Christy, Trentry, Vince, Arturo, Peter, Brandon, John Dennis, Go for Hill, Thumper, Andrew H, Andrus, Louis Talon, Mr. Slim, Array, Noah, Andrew H. Oh, there we go. Got your one coming through now. Aga, Eva, Scrooge, Stephen C, Kaladin, Andrew G, Willa Williams, DK England, Omalabi, Aaron, JJ Calypso, Ash, ASD. Good morning, everyone. Ian Gervin, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining here this morning. Hopefully that pre-market's helped you a little bit. Nice and patient at the open here, folks. All right, we're not opening with some huge gap up. We're not opening in some huge trend. All right, we are opening in an inside bar. We are expecting a certain degree of chop here this morning until it's picked its direction. Let's just have a look here. Yes, we do have, you're right, I can't see who said that, 945. We do have 945 S&P manufacturing PMI, but I think most of the eyes will be on 10 o'clock. I'll be looking to execute trades probably after 10 o'clock. Probably after 10 o'clock, more likely. And as Amulabi said, yes, please click that like button. Do me a favor. Smash that like button nice and early. Let's get this stream moving. And we've got just under a minute until the bell. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get here. Hopefully some nice moves in this market today. A little bit of rotation followed by a bit of a trend would be fantastic. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? That would be ideal. Give us something nice to play with. Get that up so I can see the stream. All right, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here is the open. Most of the mag gapping down in red. The only one gapping up here is Tesla, up 1.4%. Drifting back right now into that old new week opening gap to start off with. A grey box. Under there we've got Globex lows, which we'll be looking at. Already got tariff news hitting my wire there on Market Watch. Letting this shake out. Letting it shake out this morning. Protecting new week opening gaps so far. No big size on the book that I'm interested in here. No 100 lots anywhere that I'm really looking at. Just letting this site sort of settle down. Trading inside right now. Do they find a bid in this new week opening gap? Do they want to come down and test? Remember, this is the level yesterday we broke out from. So do they want to wash these lows and test it and create bullish structure for a rotation back up to highs? That's very, very possible this morning. They're just going to let this shake out, do whatever it wants. Do whatever it wants. Remember, we're always watching the higher time frames at all times. Watching these higher time frames, watching where this liquidity has been built throughout overnight. You've got to get used to looking at the higher time frames. Do not get too absorbed into the low time frames. Low time frames are what we execute on. Higher time frames are what are going to tell us what's really going on out here. Nice and patient. Ended up having not too much of a bad day yesterday. Small day, but small green day, and I'll take it. Any 4-figure day, I will take. Hopefully, lots of you locked in the deals at Traderify. I haven't seen a new deal come out for them yet. Just have a little look now. Active promotions. Okay, so they've dropped their deals now. So it's 40% off if it's your first time. All right, if it's your first time getting an account. And it's 30% off everything else. All right, so I'll update that later today, but 30% off all the other ones. So 5% less than before. Here's the drive up, reclaiming view up here. Oh, let's get the New York session in and view up in before I forget. He almost always forgets this, doesn't he? Come on, Alex. Right here. Holding New York open for now. Looking for a drive maybe to close that gap. Nvidia going green, Meta green, Tesla green, Google green, Amazon 1% down. That's the weakest one this morning. Microsoft only just a little bit down here. Apple 1.3% down, so giving back most of yesterday's gains so far. But it looks like the market's trying to find a bid here up to PDC. Now, how we act at PDC is going to be key. ES lagging behind here, so Tech doing the drive here this morning. Here's your gap fill coming up here into PDC, and how we act there is going to be absolutely key. so far holding those sort of 300s, 350s. If we start getting acceptance up here, then we're probably going to look to drive into these overnight highs, into previous day high, if we can start getting acceptance up here. Otherwise, I just think we chop back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Remember, 9:45, 10 o'clock, more news to come. I'm not really too interested in a trade before then, unless it's really, really obvious. They're probably going to pin us. I've got a feeling they're going to pin us at a very key level coming into these news events. They have a nasty habit of doing that, making it really hard to take a trade into the news, even though it's setting up. Back to VWAP, didn't quite close the gap there. QQQ was shy of it as well, so nice to see the ETFs seem to be in sync here this morning. No divergences. VIX still basing around. No keys being pressed for me, just sitting on hands, letting this do what it wants to do. Meta now gone red, Nvidia now gone red. Tesla 2% up, Google 1/3% up, starting to give back here a little bit. Let tech shake out. Yeah, that's how I feel, Peter. I'm more interested after 10 o'clock today, definitely. I've got a feeling the manufacturing jolts is going to move the market a bit here. Just take our time. No rush. Never in a rush to trade. Never, ever in a rush to trade or click buttons here. Especially when we're inside bars, right? When we're inside bars, less interested for me personally. It's the easiest time to get stuck and hurt is in inside bars. Going back down into that gap right now, testing the new week opening gap, back down towards current New York lows. We start breaking down under that, there's potential it might want to run for that Asia low, which is that level sub 300 down here. It's that Asia low. No acceptance above the PDC. Failed in front of it and back down to the Asia gap. Just chopping around here this morning as we expected. We expect this because we are inside, all right? All the time we're inside, this is what we expect. Nice and patient here, folks. Don't be forcing your way into the market, okay? Know your setup, know what you're looking for. I know exactly what I'm looking for here. If it's going to flush down in towards those sort of afternoon breakout levels from yesterday, I might become interested. And if it's going to gap up, or have a push back up over PDH, I'm also potentially interested. What I'm not going to do is get chopped. Did any of you manage to get those longs yesterday? Did any of you get the longs sort of, I don't know, from the new 4-hour candle, 2 o'clock into close? I missed the longs. I took the short into it, scalped some out, didn't get back long, but most of the Discord got long. Some of them got really nice push all the way up to PDC. Very, very good move. We talked about it yesterday, didn't we? That morning shove down, shorts got trapped at the lows, and they probably added all day until they got blown up. I know you got it, Coop. Yeah, you absolutely nailed it. They probably got trapped all day, adding into the pain, closed into close because they didn't want to hold overnight, and then Asia just dumped it. Always the way. Squeeze up in the New York session, the next session often just gives it back if it's just been a run up to trap them all. All right, we're firmly into this gap here. Coming into pre-market lows here on the Qs and the spiders. Watching these Asia levels, or is it Asia? Yes, watching this Asia low. We're going to get down into there. Remember, where we broke out from is where I'm really watching very carefully today. All right, remember this level yesterday. So we built liquidity and we broke from. All right, if we back test this and hold this, we can create basically this to go upside. If we fail under this, watch out below. These levels down into sort of 300 to 275, those kind of levels. Very, very interested in if we hold that. Obviously, holding above that is also bullish. Failing under that, you'll be very careful. And see, not much happening right now. Underneath PDC, into the old gap. Underneath the New York Open. MAGA mixed bag. Tesla giving quite a lot back here, but it's still green on the day. 0.75% up. Nvidia now down over 1%. Meta now up 0.25%. Google up 0.5%. Amazon now only down 0.25%. That was down over 1%. Microsoft trying to go red to green. Apple now down just over 0.5%. So it is a mixed bag here. They're chopping around. Most of these are trying to find bids. They're trying to find if that higher low would take place that we went over pre-market on the Mag 7. Same thesis with the Qs and SPY. Can it find a higher low somewhere in here for this move? That's the question that the market is asking right now. Is it capable of finding a higher low down there? If it is and bulls actually come in, rather than shorts getting squeezed, if bulls actually come in, there is a potential for a counter trend rally up to overnight high, previous day high. Acceptance over that. Remember, we're going higher. Stuck at VWAP here. All the indexes stuck at VWAP. SPY did get over it, back testing it. It's trying to find a bid here on a 5-minute. QQQ stuck at it as well. Everything's stuck right now. 5 more minutes until that first lot of news comes, and then most of it coming at 10 o'clock. Market trying to get going here. Most of the market trying to go green here. Microsoft now green. Amazon's going to have an attempt at going green soon as well. Watching very carefully here. Same with VIX. It's trying to find a bid here. It's not what you want to see. You want to see VIX starting to sort of settle down underneath PDC, ideally underneath PDL. Back and forth here. Remember, you're still inside. You're inside of absolutely everything right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're inside the opening 5 minutes. You're inside the opening 15 minutes. You're inside Asia. You're inside daily. You are in chop zone. This is exactly what the market wants to do right now. No, not a fancy open. It's absolutely to be expected. All right. When we don't really have a gap up, when we're not outside of a bar, this is what you can expect. Remember, the market moves on liquidity. So if it's used a lot of it, which we did yesterday in that squeeze up in the afternoon, 2 o'clock into close, and we've pulled back in Asia, London, we've used all the shorts that are trapped yesterday already. It has to build liquidity now. So it has to allow bulls either to come back in and take control, shorts to get caught, or the other way around. Bulls to get caught, shorts to take control. It's got to do one of them, and we're going to join once it's very, very clear. And not before then. Well, not for me anyway. As always, this is just entertainment and education. You are free to trade your own book. Trading is very, very dangerous, very, very risky. You've got to know what you're doing. But if you have your own setup, by all means, take it. Don't let me influence you. Plenty of ways to trade this market. But I have a set of rules which I look for, which keep me profitable. ES stuck underneath VWAP. SPY currently right at it. QQQ trying to find a bid on or above it. NQ the same. Very, very flat. Look at VWAP. Look at all the key levels right now. VWAP. Green line. Lower time frame algo. This pink line. Flow zones. Deep pullback flow zones. New York Open. Everything's bunched up here. Not an area I want to trade in. It's also point of control from overnight. Learn to be patient. You got to learn to be a sniper. Learn to be patient in the market. Let the trade come to you. ES starting to break down here. Fresh low of day in the New York session on the ES. Finding a bid though off that support that I put in overnight. Relative strength in the Qs, right? So ES just came under here, found a bid. Qs has not moved under it. News coming here in just over 1 minute. ES coming back towards its view up now. See if it allows it through this time or not. They're still just chopping around here. Qs wants to get going. You definitely got relative strength in the Qs. Most of the Qs now green. Tesla 2% green. Meta over 0.5%. Google over 0.5%. Amazon's just gone red to green. Microsoft just gone red to green. Nvidia 0.5% down. Apple 0.5% down. They're the laggers in the market. If the market starts going green, they start finding that higher low we talked about. There is potential relief here. I hit 10% gains on call options, buying the 5-minute opening breakout on Amazon. Nice. Good work, Scrooge. Cloud impatience is one of the most important keys these educational streams have taught me. Yeah, absolutely. Patience is everything. Yeah, Scrooge. Look, base hits add up. You don't need those home runs. Right, home runs will come once in a while, and when they come, that's fantastic. But it's the base hits that will add up. Absolutely. You can have a profitable strategy, taking base hits and doing that like you're saying you do it 3 times a week. That will add up very, very quickly. Q's finding a bid here over and above the VWAP. ES is not. All right, ES is still stuck underneath it. SPY is over it. Very, very muted still here, but feels like the Qs want to get going here. Apple's still red, Nvidia's still red. Everything else green on the session now. There are some sellers here on the tape. Into 25, 30s, 35, 50s, and 75. Not big orders, though. Not big orders. Most of those are 20 lots. Biggest one is up at 475. That's the 60 lot. They're starting to add above it now. So they're looking for this to give some relief up into 75s if possible. That's what they want the market to do. Whether it can do it or not is a whole different thing. Remember, the ES still weak underneath the VWAP. The 945 has come out now. Everyone's waiting for this 10 o'clock. Everyone here is waiting for 10 o'clock right now. Make sure I'm set up here. There we go. So ES still failing that VWAP. Feels like the Qs want to get going, but the question is, do they need to back test further down first? Here's the squeeze up. PDC is key. ES now starting to get going. Here's the relief here on ES. So the question is, how far do they want to fill this up before 10 o'clock? Do they get big relief? PDC is here. You've got the overnight highs and previous day high up here. We can move this up a bit for overnight. Make sure that's the peak. Yes. So gap now pretty much filled here on the Qs. ES has got a bit more to get going if it's going to fill that gap. Gap now filled. PDC taken. Next drive will be to PDH. Shame it's doing this before 10 o'clock. Not ideal. But the market's starting to get going. Everything now green. So all of the mags suddenly gone green. So they started to find that higher low that we talked about. Market wanted to find that higher low. going without me before I get a chance to join. Really wanted this to happen after 10 o'clock, but hey-ho. The previous day high now, the target, and then the overnight highs. It's looking for relief for overnight highs. I don't want to get long into supply up here, filling that H1 imbalance. Start of supply is here, sort of, let's call it 70s as a big level, all the way up into 500, 510. Acceptance over that, remember, on the H1, we're looking for a drive higher at that point. Watching liquidity on the book here. 75s, 90s, 500s all coming in, all looking to get filled. Still think there's more games to be had here prior to 10 o'clock. So back to PDC, they're trying to hold PDC. ES not at its PDC yet, so it's not fully closed the gap. Same with the SPY. Yeah, there was no setup there. It would have been very risky pre-10 o'clock. I was really hoping that what we would do is come down here into 10 o'clock and then offer this trade back up. This would be ideal. Sweep this out just underneath Asia and then offer this. This would be ideal, but now we have to wait to see if we offer this or if we just swipe and going to go into a range again for the day. Starting to try and bull flag this to get that move to PDH, but we're extended from the flow zones right now, but we are holding over PDC right here. Flow zones down here. No structure up here. That was just a big squeeze up as everything started to go green. The question is, all the mag's gone green, but can it actually hold a bid? Definitely interested in longs back up to previous day high here for sure. It's just the timing of this is going to be hard pre 10 o'clock. They're definitely looking for relief here, aren't they? You can see it. They're looking for relief back up to previous day high if they can hold acceptance over PDC. That's what they want to do right now. ES not at PDC, so ES has a low hanging fruit to PDC here. Feel like there's a small trade here, like a 20, 30, 40 point trade up here. But I just don't like this setup. Pre the new hour bar, 4 hour bar, where we're basing. I'm looking at this hourly bar. We're just repricing. All we're doing right now is repricing into here. Acceptance above this will be easier. Failure above this will be easier. What I don't want to do is get long into a new 4 hour and get stuck. Even though I think the draw is up here right now. I think it wants to drive higher right now, but I'm not going to allow myself to take this trade. But we are holding PDC. PDH and overnight high is the low-hanging fruit if it can get going for it. It just feels like there'll be some more games in here before we go for it, because we've got that 10 o'clock news and 4 hour candle, and we're just repricing that old H1 candle right now. We're still in a range until it proves otherwise, which is why I'm telling myself, you cannot take this, Alex. You need to wait. My draw is definitely bullish here, just based on what we've done this morning, based on the mag going green. But I'm also reminding myself, even if I don't get a piece of this, even if it doesn't hold and do this move, I can join after, or I can take a failure after. So there's plenty more trades setting up here because we're in range. We're in range. We're in a rotational day so far until it proves otherwise. And my strengths are always when we move into trend days. At least half of you hadn't hit that like button. Please do me a favor, smash that like button. It really helps the stream. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm here every single day for free. I'm very, very patient. I know some of you will want to get in this stream, follow me into a trade, have signals, but I'm not going to call anything until I like what I see. Very patient. Those of you who've been with me here for months will know I'm very, very patient. I will wait a long, long time until my setup comes. Hey, Paul, how's it going? 4 minutes left here. Sorry, 6 minutes left here until the open. Still basing out here. Still think there's a move that can be bullish, but ideally I'd like to see one side swept first. Like, it would be really nice if we come and dunk underneath the Asia lows, find a bid in front of the old point of control, find a bid in the afternoon breakout level yesterday. That would offer really good risk reward for a rotation. And then if we go into a trend day, I can add back on over 500. That would be an ideal scenario. But what I want and what it gives are not the same things. Scrooge, I took 3 trades yesterday, lost all 3, down almost 900. When I look back, I've seen clear signals not to take trades. The key moving forward is patience. All those losses could have been flat. If I'd waited for confirmation and time my entry, I would not have entered. Yeah, I mean, that's literally the market, what you just said there. Right? It's getting in and out of trades is easy. Timing the market is key because it requires you to be patient. And as humans, especially nowadays with everything being like, instant gratification, we have everything at our fingertips, our phones, the internet, can buy anything we want at any time. We're so used to having instant gratification. Trading is not like that. The only time you'll get instant gratification is if you execute absolutely perfectly, which means you're going to have to wait. Most of the time you'll have a little bit of drawdown, unless you're very lucky and you get in exactly perfect into momentum going your way. Most of the time you won't have instant gratification, but you'll have it fairly quickly if you can wait for the key levels. You can wait for it to trade into a key level and give you a setup. Drifting back down to VWAP here. ES doing the same. SPY still above VWAP. QQQ's right at VWAP. Everything's still flat, really. It's got the chance to produce a higher low here. It also has that chance to come all the way back down. Like I said, it should want to go up here, but I felt like it had more games before 10 o'clock. Where I'm interested in is these levels down here. All right, if it comes and washes these guys out and traps enough shorts down here, this will give a squeeze rotation up. If we get stuck under here, obviously I'm not looking for longs at that point. This is a big zone down here. If it fails to hold that, I'd be very, very concerned about being a bull today. All right, because this is where we broke out from yesterday. Remember, all of yesterday, chop, 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 fail in here. Chop, 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 like we talked about on stream. Once we get outside of that, squeeze, back test, squeeze. Maybe we get a back test today. Back in here, chop, 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 chop. Not interested in trading in there. I am interested in trading something like this for an upside, or maybe a variation of. Holding that New York open for now. M30 candle indecision. Well, yeah, I'm just looking at the M5s and M15s. Yeah, the first M15 was wicks both sides. Last current M15 big drive up, trading back inside. Scrooge says, might be the final piece of the puzzle now that I worked out risk reward and let my winners run. Entry might be the final key to turn into a combined passing machine. Yeah, and entry is important. I would say size. Entry or entry model, having a model for that entry, and then letting it work. If you size down, if you're playing pro trend, you got more chance of winning. All right, it's going to be a bit kinder. When you're playing counter trend, you have to be very careful. How long we got here? Just over 90 seconds till the news. I'm going to watch the book and likely to start thinning out here, I would say. If you haven't taken a trade yet, if you've been flat like me, then I think you're doing well. You're not missing anything right now. I'm sure there are some traders, I'm not saying you on stream, but I'm sure there's some traders that have already blown up their accounts because they are absolutely addicted to pressing buy and sell. All right, decision time coming up here. 1 minute until that new 4-hour and hourly candle. Like we talked about on the hourly, why didn't I like the long where we were? All we were doing was repricing this. We said here is where suppliers, we repriced this. It still has the chance to rotate. When it's ready, it's going to offer something. Mag, all green other than NVIDIA. NVIDIA, 0.2% down, the rest of the mag green. So Tesla, 2% up. Meta, 0.18% up. Google, 0.75%. Amazon, just about up, 0.08% up. Microsoft, just under 1% up. Apple, just under 0.5% up. Yeah, Crawford, everything's in there. Here you go. 3, 2, 1. Books cleared out. Here comes the news. Let's see if we do anything here. A little bit of hustle and bustle and back and forth. Can this come down to these Asia lows and then set something up here? What was the news that hit? Looking for the numbers. Now I've got newsfeed working in the Discord again. Well, hey. Hopefully they come out. I haven't seen anything hit yet. Sorry, folks. Probably loud on stream, that. Dry cough. New orders 45.2, forecast 48.2, so that came in cooler. Manufacturing 49, forecast was 49.5, slightly cooler. I mean, not a lot in it. And Fed Barkin is talking as well. Barkin's barking. No movement here yet, folks. Still sideways. All right, still sideways. Absolute nothing burger. Still sideways. Look, there's no liquidity on the book. It's starting to come back onto the book now. But they did pull absolutely everything. I wrote that down on a text file to read before every day. What's that? Oh, the concept sizing up on trades, going with the larger trend in theory over time. This will increase my profitability. Yeah, always. Always, always, always. When the time frames align, when we get multi-time frame alignment, it's an A+ scenario. Book's still a little bit thin. They're starting to come back in around 412s, 400s, and 350 to the downside. We're starting to do that move back down to that Asia level, which I'm more interested in if we're going to come back down sub-Asia into old point of control somewhere around there. I'm going to see how we act. I'm not taking a long into that, like we said. We're not just taking a long because it goes down there. I am interested in those levels. Into that old new week opening gap again. What a bore. Sometimes the market's like this. Mag mixed bag here. NVIDIA 1.20% down. NVIDIA 1.25% down. Meta just under 0.25% down. It's trying to get back red to green here. Amazon as well, just under 0.25% down. Can those start finding some bids or not? Are we going back? Downside here. Hourly bar coming just straight back into inside the range. Got to be careful of the potential head and shoulders on the hourly. But like I said, we have a strong RBS level down into sort of 270 all the way. I mean, all the way down into 230s really, but that's what I'm thinking. Thinking moves lower today should have the potential of setting a higher low on an hourly. Just can I get a price that I'm interested in or momentum I'm interested in? Back to view up here. ES lagging behind. Buyers coming back on the tape here. It's a strong push. It's a strong candle that. 40-point candle already. Strong candle. So holding that new week opening gap back to view up still right now, making lower lows and lower highs since here. Can we start to pivot, or are we going back to that Asia, London, or Globex lows? Still waiting. Yeah, everything's flat, Coop. Yeah. M5s are flat, M15s are flat. I haven't checked the hourly. Can have a quick look. Everything's flat. Building liquidity. Hourly's flat. Building liquidity here. ES weaker. Morning, Tyson. No flat tires for me. All right, finding another bid here. This is a lot of choppiness and back and forth. This is exactly what we said would happen. Why are we getting it? Because we're in an inside bar. All right, main trend is down. Right, higher time frame trend is down, but we took out yearly lows yesterday. So we have to build liquidity. Ideally, we drive higher up for a session or two and then offer that trade back in towards low of week. And if we break low of week, obviously we continue the trade downside with the Bollinger and the 5-day. If we don't do that, all right, if we trade down to low of week, we start covering the positions and then maybe they build more liquidity if they've had enough to go back upside. But I'm not participating in anything here right now. If it wants to come down to here and put in bullish structure, I'll think about it. If it wants to get up above here and put up bullish structure, I'll think about it. If it wants to fail above here, I'll think about the rotation trade. Right down here, I don't really like the short down here, but I will think about the bullish move down here if it sets up structure. What a bore. What an absolute bore. Sort of to be expected, though, really, when you think about that squeeze yesterday afternoon and a trade back upside again overnight, and then they dunk it back into the key levels or near the key levels. We just got to wait. I know it's boring. I know it's boring, team. Okay, I know it's boring, but this is how it is. Starting to try and break down here on a bear flag. I'm not looking for shorts into a gap here, but there is potential for this move down into here, I would say. But it's not something I'm looking for personally, but you can see momentum starting to move into bearish momentum here. All right, and they're going to look to take out this if they can. So there you go. Not a bad trade, to be honest. But yeah, they're looking for a trade into, this is the bottom of the gap here, 22s. And then the overnight lows into sort of 84s. And then this is the structure that I'm interested in. I'm underneath this, a sweep of this, something like this, or maybe it's here, something like this is what I'm thinking about buying into if it sets up. It might not set up, but if it sets up, that's what I'm thinking about buying into. So ES has already dunked down, all right? ES has already taken out those overnight lows. It's already back testing into some of these key levels, all right? Maybe into, I'm just going to check, look left here. Maybe into 5,600, somewhere around there would be good. Low, or at least the low 600s would be good on ES. If you can drift down into there and then find a bid. Remember, we are trading range here, basically. These are tricky trades when you're trading range. You're effectively going to trade the edges once it proves itself. My old point of control is well a little lower down at. Let's make sure I get this lined up properly. 25s, 225s. That bear flag playing out here. I'm going to look for the long reversal on the range rotation if it sets up. If it can give me a bullish signature somewhere down into this. One problem and something I need to be very aware of is the VIX. VIX closed the gap into PDC, found a bid. It's trading back up towards highs right now, 23. So a breakout of 23.20 can cause a bigger squeeze upside. So I want to be fluid here in my bias. I'm not just going to buy this, right? If VIX is going to go for an almighty shove back up towards previous day highs, we're just going to fail these key levels that I'm looking at and flush all the way back down to previous day lows. So I'm going to be fluid. It's going to have to really set up for me to want to trade this. My thesis is wrong. Well, it won't be wrong if we're just going to trade underneath these levels and back test and stay heavy, then it's a different trade altogether. We did go over these pre-market. It needs to hold or sweep and hold these levels that we're looking at. It's a bit of a room. This is sort of what you're looking at right now. So right into the edge of that gap at the moment. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. DPFT, the tariff data tomorrow. I'm honestly very tempted to take tomorrow off, but I'll be here anyway. Okay, so in towards these overnight lows now, the orange box. Let's get rid of this so you can see it. All right, in towards here. Remember, this is an area I'm interested in down here if it's going to trap shorts. Not front running this. Where's my mouse gone? There it is. Not front running this, but if we sweep and start to trap shorts, it's definitely an area I'm interested in. If we don't trap shorts, we don't sweep, if we stay heavy, then obviously I won't be looking for longs. You can see on the hourly why I'm interested here. Value area high yesterday. This is the breakout. I'm looking for something like this. All right, I want it to hold somewhere in here and pivot up. That's what I'm looking for. Failure of this, then we rotate back down to lows. Obviously, the long is not possible at that point if we're going to do that. It's also okay if I don't get a trade. All right, so if it doesn't set up, that's also all right. So SPY coming into that level where we broke out from yesterday. It's trading into it now, into that sort of the 1 o'clock congestion. QQQ's got a little bit further to go. SPY's weak today. Looking at the mag, Tesla still green. Google 0.5% green. Microsoft green. Everything else red. Nvidia 1.5% down. Meta 0.33% down. Amazon just under 1% down. Apple 0.33% down. Overnight lows coming here by the looks of it. If you took that bear flags, paying out pretty nicely for you now. Yeah, tomorrow's when we get the reciprocal tariff announcements, Christy. It's what everyone's been waiting for. 2nd of April. So tapping into Asia here, very, very close. 85's basically the level, that orange box. Underneath that, we have old potential RBS levels on the H1 and a point of control. Point of control is much deeper, but really we're into value area high from yesterday here. Point of control is down into 224, 225. All right, so if we drift down into there and start finding bids upside and start putting in higher lows, I'm going to think about joining for a bullish rotation back to the upside because I'm expecting a rotational day here. Failure to put in any bullish structure probably means there's no trade for me here today. I don't want to short into congestion yesterday that we found bullish structure in. Oh, is there a time? I'm not sure, Christy. I'll have to have a look. I haven't looked yet. One day at a time, eh? I'm focused on today now. I'll focus on tomorrow once today is done. Hey. Three PM. There you go. Miguel said it at 3 PM. So holding that Asia low right now. We've not swept it. It's going to be very typically of NQ. If it doesn't sweep it, it's going to be very frustrating. Leaving low-hanging fruit there. Bloody NQ, just such a pain. I'm just going to get a jump here. A little bit chilly this morning. Oh, well, might come for it now. That was a big drive up to get sold into. Very, very close. So you can see there's some bids around here. We'd like to see it sweep first. We don't want to take this in front of it, ideally. One more dunk down, some manipulation down, and then a turn would be really good. VIX continuing to break out here, but it's into that congestion zone right now. All right, it's into its IBL from yesterday, 350s. I'd say big levels here on the VIX, 350s to 385s. Yeah, 2385s, maybe even 24s. You can see there's bids here in these levels that we're looking at. We want a manipulation move lower first. If this just starts to turn, it's going to make it really hard to get involved. So we're trying to play the edges here. We want to see breakout traders come into the short side underneath the overnight levels, Globex levels, and we want to find a bid come in on like a bit of a flush move as a signature. That's what I'd like to see. Lower the better right now, and then wait to see if it turns. If it can't turn, probably means I won't be getting a trade here today because I really don't want to participate as a short into where shorts got stuck yesterday. That's not something I'm interested in doing. But yeah, there is the chance that we're going to go risk off before tomorrow. And I am thinking about that in my head, like, if they got the squeeze yesterday, are they going risk off before the tariffs tomorrow? Do we have a really thin and boring book tomorrow morning? Very, very possible. Like I said to my team, Sunday night and Monday morning. This week is a week to survive, not a week to thrive. This is a week to survive. Too many unknowns with these tariffs. Get through this week. And then trade the sort of aftermath of everything next week. Still feeling bearish here for a sweep of those lows is what I would expect, and then we wait and see what happens next. Still haven't taken a trade here, almost an hour in. So overnight lows about to be taken here. Structure is bearish on a 5-minute, on a 15-minute, but we are coming into key levels here. If we sweep this and then we turn back upside, right, anything where we're doing something like this, which is the signature I was looking for, if we do something like this and we turn back upside, I'm going to look to join if flow zones can support this for a rotation back up to here. Silent dig at my wife because my coffee's not here. All right, here comes Globex lows here. Key levels here, about to be taken. Did we take it? We're literally tapping on it. It's got to take it here. 83.75. I have it. Still finding a bid in front of it. I want to see them take it out with a manipulation, flush down, and then reprice higher. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so coming into these key levels now, look at the H1. It's where we found bids yesterday. So I'm now being patient. We've done everything I want to see to the downside. I want to see if there's a reaction now. Obviously, trend is bearish currently. Right, and we will need that to change if my thesis is going to play out for me to have that trade today. If it's not going to play out, then I'm probably not going to get a trade. Old point of control here is all the way down at 225s. We're starting to aggressively price in towards that old point of control here, 225. So we have swept everything. We've done everything that I'd want to see to the downside here. Now I'd want to see if bulls step in. If bulls step in, we're looking for that rotational trade. All right, all I'm thinking about is a rotational trade. If we can't, obviously, if we don't get something like this, we're not joining in, are we? We're not guessing on the way down. All right, I need to see that rotational trade come in. I'm expecting a rotational market because we're an inside bar. So I'm looking to see if a rotational trade comes in. Starting to see some news hit the wire here. If you got that short into that move, congratulations. Extreme fear, we're at 18 out of 100. All right, starting to see a bit of a reaction here. Really, would really like to see a move lower first than just an instant relief up. Would like to see a move lower first, really. And these are big, big levels. Reclaiming 300 here, back into flow zones. No structural shift here, nothing here to play off yet, but you can see the volume starting to try and step in here. I just want like a big old candle down, which gets repriced up. Back to flow zones here. Big candle up here. So this is a good drive. This is the kind of signature I'd want to see. Now I want to see it return back inside on a new candle and hold it. All right, this is what we're sort of talking about, wasn't it? Look at this move down. All right, and then we're looking for something like this. Don't go without me. You've got to show me something there. If it goes without me, it's going to be one of those where I've had really nice thesis, really nice patience, waiting for it, and it won't come to me. So let's just see. Oy, yay. Thanks, market. Thanks, market. Don't reward me for being a good trader and patient. You just reward the chasers today. Thanks very much. Thanks, market. Oh my God. Well, we've had a good call. I'm just going to have to wait here. It's got to come back and pick me up. I'm not chasing this up. This is almost a 100-point move already. Well, not that far, but 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 70 odd point move. It's got to come back down, and I want to see it find a bid down here. No. No. Oh, well. Thanks, market. You pain in the butt. Look at the precision into my RBS level, that blue level. God. All I need is a pullback for me to buy. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much here. Shorts trapped down there. That's why we're squeezing away, because we're into a higher time frame RBS level that we talked about. Don't want to be short into that level. And here you go. Is the aggressive move away here. So over 100 points off that low now. Get some, miss some. It is what it is. The setup was there. I asked for it. It's just whether it will return in for me. What a pain. What a pain. If you're in this, folks, you're looking very good if you're in this long right now. Unfortunately, this is what happens when higher time frame buyers come in. There was the signature. Here is my limit waiting to get filled. And nope. See ya. Is what it is. Can't do anything about it now. Well, if you managed to get that long, congratulations. It was everything I called out for like the last hour and a bit, what we were looking for, even pre-market. Maybe we get a pullback at some point. I'd be taking partials here, just looking at like the M5 and M15. If you were long into this, we're protecting those deep pullback flow zones. We're still bearish, but this was the first move off that higher time frame level that we talked about. First decent show that, hey, we want to protect this level. We're interested in protecting this level. Been fairly efficient in the move so far. Back into the top side of that new week opening gap at the moment. And we're going to build out some structure here versus the flow zones. It's the next question, but really it's got to drift much, much lower. I'm having to buy much, much higher if I think about engaging here, which is not what I want to do. And the market, ES is rejecting its structure right now. Coming back down now. Now I'm starting to get a little bit more interested. Want to be careful. Again, I want to join momentum for the right way. Need to be careful because ESs reject some big levels there. VIX also found a bid. Want to be very careful if I think about this. VIX did just find a bid. Not what I'd want to see. on the VIX. So don't have confluence here lining up now like I did before. Just going to wait here. What are we going to do? Because we want to be careful if this is a bear flag to move lower. Holding 310s there. Building that bull flag out now. I really want to see it drive a little bit deeper first, but it's not doing it. It's very, very tricky here. Bull flag starting to build out. To move ninja around, my levels are not lining up. They're quite the same. Here we go. Come back down first. Let's see if we pick something up here or not. I want to be very careful watching the ES because the problem now is one of the hard things is these levels here where they got stuck, right? So buyers got stuck here and became sellers. Want to be really careful if they keep rejecting that. It's the one thing. It's why I wanted to buy down here, sell a partial here, and hold for a rotation. I want to be really, really careful here. And we're now at the midpoint of the initial balance as well. So a bit like, ooh, IB now set and we're just at the mid. It's not at an extreme, is it? That bull flag starting to go there, starting to hold the flow zones. Get picked up. Gonna be one of those days I can feel it when I can't get picked up. It's looking good here. Everything I wanted. This is everything I wanted. Couldn't get picked up here. Oh, Alex. If you're in this, make sure you're taking partial into these levels up here. It's very, very key. You want to see VIX get slammed here, really. What do you do? What do you do when you get the right thesis and you can't get it? Hopefully some of you got it. Are any of you in it long? Hopefully some of you got it. Just couldn't quite get me. Almost got me. Oh. The look of it is looking pretty good though. Right, trend down, big push away, pull in. This kind of play here, and you just want this to start squeezing upside. Now, these guys have got to stop becoming sellers though. You need this for a rotation all the way back up. If we're going to go in a rotational day, that's what you want to see. But you want to be in cheap on rotations. Remember, I don't want to buy midpoint of the range. I want to be in from lower for that drive higher, because when we're playing ranges, we need to be playing edges. Yeah, lots of you in it. Nice, guys. Very, very nice. Well, at least, hopefully, my thesis helped you guys get in. VWAP on deck here, I would say now. And that New York Open is going to be key. I want to see them hold 40s. They've got to hold 40s. If they can't hold 40s, there's a bigger flush in it. So it's building to do it. Again, very, very dangerous level because of where those buyers became sellers earlier. I'd say that's one of the key things you got to look out for here. The flow zone starting to try and flip. We're trying to produce high, 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 low, high, 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 low. Few sellers coming in here on the tape. It's trying to build for that squeeze. It's definitely trying to build for that squeeze. Be very careful here if these buyers from earlier in the morning become sellers. This is the one problem here on a rotation. Still under VWAP, remember, like we're in a rotational day. Have to be careful. I wanted that cheap buy. It didn't come to me. Maybe we can get a cheap buy soon. Holding 40s there pretty well. And flow zones for now. Don't like the close of that candle. 1 minute left for a new M5. Very tricky area, this. And we're in that new week opening gap as well. Pullbacks on low volume, which is good. You can see this volume here. It's low volume. That's what you want to see. And then you want to see high volume for an increase to the upside. I'd like to see the mag start to go green here. I want to see NVIDIA start finding a bid here. It's 1% down. Amazon, just under 0.5% down. Apple, 0.25% down. But this is what you want to see in terms of volume and the structure, holding 40s. If volume comes up here and they start sending it, and we can start trading through these levels. What's that old high? 70s, and then we can get through VWAPs through 80s, and then we keep moving. Looking good though. It's holding flow zones for now. This is the big level here, which keeps tapping into. You can see it. Edge of the gap. This grey box. Probably got to make this grey box a bit thicker. Or like that. Maybe that's a bit better. That's your old new week opening gap. These levels up here, trade through these. We're probably going to do this move. Remember, we're in a rotational market inside. We're in inside market, inside bars. Watching spiders as they start drifting back up to where they failed from, back towards the VWAP. This is key now. Keeps failing up here in the 60s. Not what you want to see. You want to see a strong drive through this. A lot of faffing around here for not that much reason. If we can get through that 930 print, then we flip the M15 and we're going to start really probably putting a squeeze trigger on here. This is better now. This is everything we've looked for. If you're in this, congratulations. Just make sure you're paying yourself a bit of money. This is obviously clearly a big congestion zone up here. You can clearly see it's struggling to break through as clean as it should. But you look very, very good. Here you go. You're looking for that move through VWAP and New York now. Make sure you're paying yourself in front of those levels. You will be very upset if a seller comes back in here in a key level and slams on you. So you've got to take a little bit of money off and then hold the rest for that rotation play. But everything we talked about pre-market is starting to happen, isn't it? This is everything we talked about pre-market. Fortunately, I'm here like a lemon. But at least you can see how when you understand the market, you know what it wants to do and why. Again, what was key today? What was key? Higher time frame. What am I trading off? Hourly. Where did we come into? Push, pull. Where are buyers? Where sellers got stuck yesterday? Really simple, isn't it? I don't want to be short down here. I'm looking at buying it. Unfortunately, it didn't pick me up for the buy. Maybe I'm too fussy. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit into VWAP here. Be very careful of the signatures here. Be very, very careful of the signatures here. You're coming into congestion zone. You must be paying yourself, and then we'd look for more liquidity to be built out here for this move upside if it's going to do it. Again, rotational day. Here's your initial balance low. Here's an initial balance high. I wanted to buy near these lows. All right, I was a buyer down here. Had a limit order sat in here and couldn't get picked up. And there you go. There's a squeeze. Oh, I mean, this is how to really frustrate me. When I've got everything right and I just can't get in. Oh, congratulations, team. All right, here you go. PDC coming up through that. You're going to go PDH through that. Base above 500s. We're going 700s. Okay, so please make sure you're paying yourself some money. Please, 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 please make sure you're paying yourself some money. Cannot say this enough. Everything was set up for you pre-market. Everything, I called every single thing we were looking at here before the move. Oh my God, Alex. Oh, there goes a $15,000 day for me. That's what the market does. Tests you, tests you, tests you. Be patient. You can be right. You can wait, and you can not get picked up like me. Do not chase this at the highs, please, folks. Tesla trading up towards that 270 now. That's probably its target that it wants to hit. I looked at that this morning. I think we talked about that on stream. Oh, man. All right, so edge to edge. I was in here waiting for it. 300s, waiting for it. Didn't get me, and it's gone. All right, so it is what it is. PDC here, PDH here will be next target. I have to wait and see if we can build out some liquidity here for me to think about entering up now. But honestly, the best trade was down here. Location I wanted to buy in all morning was here. Go back to the beginning of the stream, during the stream. I talk about it so many times. The location that I wanted to buy from was this blue box. We hit right in the edge of this blue box. I don't like being a buyer on the way down. All right, I wait for momentum. Momentum shifts. I wait for that pullback, and I couldn't get it. It sucks. It's the best way of me putting that. It flipping sucks. But if I made some of you rich, then I'm pretty happy. I need this to build some liquidity out here. Like, I'd love to be getting involved in this if we can build some liquidity out here. Well, post me W's in chat if you got it. Hopefully you got it. Oh my gosh. It's almost like I want to walk away now. I'm that frustrated. That's definitely a tilt trigger when I have an absolutely perfecto call. Yeah, totally. It'd be another bust later. That's it. Nice. Peter got it. Louis got it. Beach Boy, Julian, Mike, Ryan, Leron, Christy, Trey, Jimbo, Arturo. So repeatable patterns, you can see. Like, why was I looking for that? Repeatable pattern. Can't chase it now, can I? If my buy entry was down here, we're now 120 points higher than that buy entry, and we're coming into PDC, and we've not built out liquidity for me to play now. So, as always, I'm looking for liquidity to play off. I need to see this now if I'm to play any more upside, because we're in range rotation. If this wants to just keep rotating, it can, right? So I wanted to play the edge of the range upside. It's just unfortunate. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. Oh, my labby, done for the day. Andrew, you are so good. Oh, thank you, my friend. Just many years of doing it and understanding. Higher time frame narrative. All that matters is the higher time frame. You execute on the lower time frame. Unfortunately, I didn't get picked up. I'll tell you who did get picked up. Anyone who just plays Malaysian SNR was buying that on the move into 260. They don't care about momentum shifting. They will just buy it on that move in, and they will average down into it. It's not how I like to play. I like the lower time frame shift, which we got. Remember I said I want that one manipulation down. We drew it all morning. I drew this out all morning. And then I just couldn't get this. Probably should have just started entering in here, but I really wanted that. Here comes the IB high. Oh my God. Squeezes on here. Shorts got trapped into the lows again because they don't understand how to read basic structure and they got slammed. All right, here comes the squeeze. So ES now looking for that move above IB high will take it to PDC. Above PDC will take it into 663. Above that will take it into PDH 672. NQ, we're looking for this move up here. I don't mind joining late. I'm not joining as we keep going higher, but I don't mind joining late. If we build structure out here, I don't mind taking this trade here because there's still a 100 to 200 point trade in here for this reprice. I'm also not totally against having a failed breakout and a trade inside and trading the rotational trade back down. If we steal this overnight liquidity and we trade inside, I don't mind taking rotational trade back down either. But that was my A+ trade for a range rotation. That is as good as it gets. It's as good as it gets. Yeah, if it bases above 500, it's got a shot to 700 for sure. Yeah, just based on the hourly, it has to do a lot of things. But if it bases above 500, above this old POC, it has a shot to 600. Through that, it gets very thin, and there's an old anchor view up into 700. You can see here how thin the volume is here, right? Yeah, I'm here every single day. Yeah, every day. From pre-market, normally on about 9:15, 9:20, we do top-down analysis. I go over absolutely everything I'm looking at and why. And this was the trade I was looking at today. You'll notice I wasn't in the shorts for the move back down. I was very fixated on looking for this long push back up for a rotational day. Instead, I'm twiddling my thumbs like an absolute numpty. All right, so finding a little bit of rejection at that IB high right now. Did we steal the liquidity? We did. All right, so we're trading inside IB high. I'm going to have to wait for some liquidity to be built out here. We have 15 minutes left now until we get that new hourly bar. That beautiful move's been and gone. So I'll look to see if we can do a big flush and pullback, which gets absorbed, or if there offers something for me to join above 500. Those are really the only trades now. Julian Luisi, I still can't get over how good your analysis is. Oh, thank you. Very kind. Nice. I had some levels marked out, and I took the long and past 2 combines and added on my XFA account with that move. Watching your thesis, confirming my thesis was nice. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Starting to build out liquidity here. We'll need to let this build out for a bit longer here, for my opinion. It's a big move up. All right, from here, it's a big move up, 100-point move up. If it can base out here for a bit longer, then I'll consider something. But it's very, very thin on that move up. W for Alex. Hey, no W's for me. Absolute nothing for me, unfortunately. It's tough. It's tough, man. When you call it, and you know, I can argue that probably should have just longed here at this point. We built this, and I was looking for more move down to trap because it didn't pick me up. I was thinking if we give one more dunk, I'd join, but you know, hindsight's everything, isn't it? You know, probably could have just taken that flat break straight upside there. And the squeeze continues here. VIX back down into potential demand zone. So we want to be careful here. VIX at its low of day IBL. We are at IB high. And we're extended from flow zones, but we have the ability to go higher here. I really think we have the ability to go higher here. Market's all green other than NVIDIA, right? Market is all green other than NVIDIA. If there's one big dunk down here that gets absorbed, I'm going to be a bit more confident. Need to see it build like a right shoulder. Big dunk down that gets absorbed. I don't want to long into the IB high in a rotation day. That's very, very dangerous. So I want to see a big shove down, a big puke out that just gets absorbed, something to encourage shorts to come in and absolutely slam this. I'm also very aware that we're in a rotational market, and there's just as much chance this goes from IB high to VWAP now. It can do that move if it wants to. If we get a big old flush down that gets absorbed, that would be kind of nice. Yeah, IB high, IB rules definitely apply, but just got to be careful here because we know this is a big level up here, Ryan, but they definitely apply. But I'm leaning bullish here. Like my thought on the day was always bullish if we held that H1 level, right? Which we did. That blue box. If we held this, I was thinking bullish. I prefer, like I said, I prefer the rotation VWAP IB high here and this. Right. If we do this, then I'm going to play IB rules after we sweep these levels here. I'm more interested in the failed auction. Until then, I'm thinking auction higher. Ideally, I want to sweep down. I mean, that is not really enough for me, but I want a nasty move down that's absorbed. Hey, Alex, what does that POC brownish mean? POC brownish. We're looking here. This one, it's yesterday's point of control. Everything above this, holding above this is very bullish. So we could have retested that level. Everything above this was bullish. Underneath that is where it gets a bit more tricky. So that's the biggest volume area of yesterday, point of control. Letting this build out here. I really think there is a squeeze coming here. I just want to see a flush first. That done one candle flush, but we can reprice to view up here if it wants before doing it. I don't know. I don't know, folks. Feels like it just wants to go straight to previous day high here. Where's Tesla at? Tesla's at that 270. I want to be really careful here. Do I join a little bit here? Maybe I just join a little bit, small size. If it can get in, which it can't. I can already tell it's going to be one of those days for me when I'm not going to get anything I want. PDH coming up here, folks. You watch. PDH. There you go. You gotta love it. You have got to love it. Some days you have these. When you're here long enough, you know that they come once in a while. I probably have one of these every 2 or 3 months where I just can't get picked up. These used to drive me mad. I used to go absolutely nuts on days like these. Now I just laugh. I'm just like, who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? I'll be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. If you don't want to pick me up today, market, you're not going to pick me up. There's your move to PDH. Flag playing out. It built the liquidity we talked about. I would have liked one more dunk down, but like we said, build something out here. This is an inverse. All right, and this is the level. And then overnight highs are here. Okay, 515-ish, basically. So it's going to aim for PDH and 515. So if you're in this long here, partial here, hold your runners. If we rebase here, it's got that move to 600 and 700. All right. It has the opportunity. I want to make you very aware. It has the opportunity to do a failed breakout and a failed auction back under here once it takes these. That will be taking Globex low, Globex high, and range rotation. Remember, we're in range rotation till it proves otherwise. If it bases above previous day high, what do we have? An outside bar. This is why I'm interested. If we can base above here, we have an outside bar because the daily high is here. If we can base above here, there is potential to rebalance higher on a daily. And if you look at the daily, what do we have here on the daily? Huge imbalance. On the daily, we have the ability to reprice up here and 5-day back test. Okay, so lots of reasons to be thinking about this bullish move this morning. Lots of reasons for the market to not want to let me into it. So PDH now taken. Make sure you've taken a partial. Hopefully you've all caught some more there. Oh, God. Imagine being able to see the market this well and not being able to make money. Nice, Ryan. Good work. All right, you want to see this hold, this back test. Remember, your low-hanging fruit's gone. Low-hanging fruit 1 has gone. So you've taken IB high, you've taken previous day high. Your next move is into 510s. I'm just going to double check that's the right level. 510, 510, 512, somewhere around there. Let's have a look. It's this guy right here, 511. All right, that's your last low-hanging fruit. We know this is supply. It's all right, John. Honestly, John, it's okay, mate. It's okay. As long as you guys are making money and as long as you're learning, and hopefully those of you who are new here, who have been on other people's streams before, who are teaching you absolute nonsense, they're getting you trapped in the market, they're making money from you on all sorts of crappy calls. All right, hopefully this stream here is proof that I know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to help you guys, all right? It's very, very clear education today. Is it better to be rich or right? Rich. What's the use in being right if you're not rich? No, I tell you what it is. It's better to be right. Okay, it's better to be right than making money off bad trades. That's the one thing. It's really the worst thing you can do is have a bad habit, learn bad education, and make money from it, because it means you're trading incorrectly and you're getting that dopamine hit and financial reward for doing something badly, and the market will teach you a nasty lesson when it's ready. Normally, people that have those habits are picking tops and bottoms. That's the most common thing to do. So here you go, in towards that Globex high now. In towards that Globex high. You look very, very good here, folks. Basing over previous day high, basing over Globex high, we have the chance to go higher, don't we? We have the chance to reprice. All right, so over Globex high, you'd be looking for then a trade into 517. Over that, you have a straight slingshot up to basically 600, 280, 600 in my opinion, because there isn't much volume. See here? It gets thin here. All right, you get through here, we get thin until this block here. Okay, so through here, slingshot into 600. Through there, we keep pumping because it gets really thin here. All right, and then 836s. I'm not saying it does that today. It might never do that. Remember, all the longs are still counter trend. It's just they were high probability longs today, based on the setup in front of me, based on what we did yesterday. Muggins over here hasn't got a trade in. I've got to trust myself like we trust you. I trust myself, mate. Yeah, I trust myself. But if I have limit orders in and they don't get filled, it's not like I don't have. It's not like I haven't got orders out there fishing. It's just they didn't get filled. You know, my order down here was in this gap right here on this wick. I was right here, almost hit me, and coulda, woulda, shoulda. But once it didn't pick me up there, it's really hard. Once you don't get picked up there and you're having to buy 70 points higher, it's really hard to convince, hey, let's just buy 70 points higher. And then even this, really, this dunk wasn't enough for me. I wanted this here, really. Fill this, nasty whip and back. That would have been very good. All right, so pretty much low-hanging fruit's gone. It just missed on taking Asia. Let's have a look. This double and triple top on the SPY. Still got a chance to drive up there on the SPY. I still think this is bullish. Still has the chance to move higher. Nice, Louis Talon. Yeah, congratulations. Everyone who took the longs that I was calling, congratulations. Very, very nice. Still has the chance to move higher here. Still low-hanging fruit is that Asia high, and then through that, be looking for that trade upside all the way up into 600. If it can base above, you would need new structure to be built out now. Catch you later, Peter. Hey. So 1 hour left. Is this market going to give me one more trade? Still look good. You still look good for upside if you're holding on here. Trade through 500, 512s through that is a squeeze if it can base. No worries, guys. Good work, everyone. Lovely work, everyone. Yeah, do me a favor, smash that like button down below. If you've taken my calls today, if they've helped you, I would appreciate your support back on the channel by hitting that like button. If it's your first day turning up on stream and you're interested in learning, if you like how I teach and you want to learn how to trade these, you can head over to flowzonetrader.com. I have a 20-hour, 40-module course for you there. You get the flow zone indicator right here, which if you followed today would have given you a very nice short and a very nice buy, wouldn't it? All right, and it comes with all these key levels, so absolutely everything. This comes for free with the course, as does lifetime membership into my Discord, which is where I trade in the afternoons. Alan Bailey, what would I like to see for a long trade? It would have to like rebase here now, right? So if it clears this out, I'd want to see some sort of base here for this trade up. This is the next level of liquidity I'd be aiming for, and then through that 700s. But you've just taken all the low-hanging fruits have gone now. Every single low-hanging fruit is gone. So now the question is, do we go into a trend day? All right, as long as we can hold above IBH, around previous day high, all right, build liquidity here out for a bit, it has a trend day expansion. Remember, above this red line, we are in potential trend up because we are in to an old imbalance on the daily. All right, if we zoom out, this is why it's really important to understand what's going on. I just put this into a 5-minute. Think about what we did yesterday. Yearly lows were taken, all right? Friday, puke out. Monday, morning session, take yearly lows, trade back inside. Shorts are trapped where? Down here. Breakout, all right? There's your RBS. Resistance becomes support. So if we hold this now, same thesis, right? Up to here is possible. If it really wants to get going. Doesn't have to do it today, but it's possible. But it gets less and less nice because if we think about a fib, we're trading into key levels already. That's why I wanted to long near the lows today. I don't want to get long near the highs. I never like longing near the highs. Long off structure where shorts are trapped at the lows. If you've been with me long enough, you know what I like. I like trading when one side is trapped. Shorts were trapped this morning at those lows. They fail to read higher time frame analysis. Every single day, they seem to be unable to do it. Same as yesterday. They slammed short at the lows, and guess what happened? We squeezed all day. Yeah, new hourly candle now. Quite right. This can trade back downside in towards sort of 87s and 63s if it wants. And then we see if we find a bid there on this hourly candle. Jeffrey, 3 wins, up 500. That's my goal. I'm out. Have a great day. Lovely work, Jeffrey. So I'm going to base out here. I want to see some structure, right? I don't want to be buying. Look at how we've gone straight up. We want to see a pullback. Some structure built like this for this move. If it builds this structure and it fails under here, we get a rotation down to VWAP and IB low if it lets go of VWAP. So those are the plays here. An auction higher will need to build structure out for this move. A failed auction will come back underside and get stuck here for a rotation down. Those are your plays for the remainder of the day. Those are the only plays I would be considering for the remainder of the day. This was all planned pre-market. All right, we went over this at the very, very open of this session pre-market. Logan Susnick says, 1 win on that bear flag. It's my 4th day trading with you. No trades yesterday. I've had 3 green trades. Well done, mate. I love it. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Logan, another new student of mine. Lots of people joining up at the moment. Lots of people passing their combine, starting to pull money out of the market, starting to get rid of bad habits. The stream's growing every single day. I can see it on stream. More and more DMs coming to me. More and more people enjoying the course. Don't forget, if you've done the course, you're doing the course, I would love it if you could do me a favor and leave me a review on Trustpilot. Anyone who's new to the course, greatly appreciate that. Makes a big difference. And if you go into the Discord, those of you done the course, and to testimonies, you'll see the Trustpilot link there. But yeah, still looking good. Still basing out here. Ryan, stop in the green. Have my stop at 472. Does that seem okay? 472. Or underneath this swing. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's nice. It's good. I don't know. Where did you enter from, Ryan? From the IB high. Do you take that IB high breakout? That's your trade, isn't it? You love that trade. IB high break. As long as it holds this, yeah, then I think you look good for that just continuation high. What you might get is a trap play later today. I can hope and pray for that because it's the only way I'm going to get involved right now. This is in a hurry now to go up to that next mark. Yeah, IB high break. Lovely work. Lovely, lovely work. Remember, we've gone straight up here. You should expect a pullback soon. Is your close back to 11:30? Yes, 8 hours behind me here. Yeah, 11:30 there. Nice one, Arturo. Take care. You can always, I don't know how much you've got, size you've got left in, Ryan. You can always take some and then re-add back in. Myron, thanks, Alex. Quick win today. I lacked discipline yesterday, so I'm shutting it down to help me change my habits. Hey, great work. Great work. Scrooge, 10 months into futures. I've never passed a combine, but I am consistently getting better and closer. And when I blow them, I know exactly why, and I'm learning from those mistakes. Getting better every month. That's all that matters. Process-based. You can be process-based. It will come together. Judge yourself on your process. If you're reviewing your reviews, if you're reviewing your emotions each and every day, it will get easier and easier and easier. Aga S, I learn patience with you, Alex. That's fantastic. That's what it takes to be a trader. You're going to have to be patient. Although I wonder if I had too much today. I should have just slammed market in, shouldn't I? Buy, 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 buy. Right, just one for now. Took one off at previous day high, like you mentioned. Hey, nice. Yeah, you look good here, Ryan. Honestly, all the time it's basing above previous day high. You look very, very good. The only thing I'd say is like the move has been very strong. Squeeze straight up, all right? At some point, if we're going to go into a grind, what will it do? At some point, it will punish people. Re-go, grind. At some point. So it's just, that's up to you. Is this runner up enough that you're like, I just want to take it off now and be done? Because the next target's here. Or are you like, that will really make a huge difference to me right now? I guess that's the question you have to ask. I mean, you could move your stop from here to here and hope it protects this. This is an extra 30 points. That's not a bad move. We'll move it up to 500 and hope it protects this wick here at 507s. And then if we do a new breakout, you move it up under here. But you know at some point it's going to slam and take them. But so far, it's trying to drift up into this imbalance up here. It's very, very thin as we start to get up here. I think there's a trade here up into 76s into 600. That's when we start to get thicker, 76 to 600. Calypso, nice, man, nice. Yeah, I haven't looked at YM for a while. I feel most traders have the same hurdles to learn how to clear. I'm just glad I have the mind to constantly break down what's working and what's not. Yeah, totally. Andres, I missed and it hurts deep. Yeah, well, me too, mate. Wouldn't pick me up. That's the trouble with limit orders sometimes, isn't it? I'm just like, oh, should I have just marketed in and just been like, well, you won't pick me up, I'm going to join you. Very hard. Very hard to say that. So 600 is the target. Again, we're very steep here. We're in that grindy. Why do we have these grindy moves? Because shorts are cooked. ES coming into previous day high. Be very careful here if ES comes through previous day high and rejects it. Remember, that's low hanging fruit on the ES. Totally phenom. Yeah, totally. We're in a rotational market. But if it gets acceptance, then we squeeze higher. Shorts have definitely been cooked the last few days. But what I would say is I always like those two-leg pullbacks. I always like two-leg pullbacks. So if we can go leg one. Oh, draw leg one, leg two. If we get failure here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's possible. If we get acceptance up above here, we're going to keep drifting. We're going to keep drifting all the way up until where there's the next level, all the way up here. This can still be a rotation. Remember that we can still rotate from here. The big thing is we took out the big yearly lows. We're getting acceptance back above. So we're going to trade back inside here. If we get acceptance above here, we trade to here. Right, and at this point, I'd be no new longs up here at all. It's suicide. Steep up here, though. You can tell. Shorts right now. Shorts got cooked low day, and then they went short and add and add and add. And what's happening? They're getting forced to cover and cover and cover. And then what happens? Grind and grind and grind and grind. That short's tripping over themselves. And at some point, we do a flush, and they'll jump back in, and then we probably reclaim. It's very bullish in how this market is setting up right now. Intraday. Why don't I just scale into the position? I mean, I would if I can get my initial position in. JJ. I like my initial position in, and then I like adding to winners. If I don't get that initial... Remember, this market's moving fast. Right? Everyone's so quick to say something, but it's like my order's down here, fishing down here in front of 300. I don't get picked up. If I'm forced to buy here, that's 70 points higher. That is not a joke. That's not like 10 or 15 points higher, 70 points higher. So how am I scaling into that if it comes back down to here? It's too much. It's just what happens. When squeezes happen, it can move very fast. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it going without me. It's just how it is sometimes. I'd rather be really, really rigid, stick to my rules, make good money. I know I have a high success rate, 70% success rate. I'd much rather do that than break my rules because one day I didn't get picked up. Another trade was set up today. If it offers me that trap, I'll take it. If it fails the IB, gets stuck, I'll take a range rotation back down to VWAP. There are more trades setting up here today. Expansion higher and failed rotation are both setting up. My bias is with expansion higher right now because of what I'm seeing in front of me. We're into the daily imbalance. We have a 5-day moving average we can aim for. We've already swept yearly lows. There's lots of reasons for this to drift higher right now and reprice. ES coming into previous day high. If you're trading ES, your partial should be right here, right now. Just tapped it. So same if you're in SPY calls, you should be selling these or at least a portion of them now into previous day high. No, DK, I don't do options. I understand them, but I don't trade options. I don't want to deal with... The only time I would take options I talk about is if I'm swing long investing over multiple months or a year. I'm not interested in playing options otherwise. But they work the same way, but then you have to deal with all the Greeks. So if you go into a sideways rotation market, it's just not something I'd be interested in. Obviously... If you're buying calls cheap today, I imagine those calls when we dropped down were so cheap on the 0 DTE because everyone was so bearish. Probably made a lot of money, but I would much rather know my set risk reward and play off futures than the options market. But it's just personal preference. No worries. But everything's exactly the same. Still, like your principles are exactly the same. The key levels are the same. Everything works the same way. It's just understanding the Greeks really and what you're buying. Strike price, in the money, out the money. It's all you really need to worry about. Okay, the VIX coming into previous day low, ES into previous day high. All low hanging fruit now has gone. Any drift higher is a bonus because we will be back testing on the H1. Remember, if we drift higher, where are we looking to back test? SBR levels. What is this? Support. We broke through. We've never back tested it. What do we expect this to become? Resistance. What will be there in the next hour or two? Anchored view up off the highs, right? Lots of reasons to think that's where we're trying to get to right now to back test it. It's why I wanted to be long for this move with runners. Missed the move, not going to chase. It is what it is. Today, Alex is going to have a flat day. I've already come to terms with it. 45 minutes left. I've already come to terms with it. This is... What a call, though. What a call, though. Like, how accurate was my blue box? Remember, I haven't moved this since the open. Pretty good. How many ticks was I off there? A point. It's pretty good, isn't it? I'll take that. All right, here you go. Moving to 600 like we talked about. Back testing these levels. Remember, one eye on the H1 here. You've got to understand why we're going up here. We're coming up here. This is where we're coming up to. Squeeze through that is into sort of 670s, 19,670s. This is the anchored view up we've had on since that sell, since that big sell that we did last Wednesday. This is the anchor. We've protected it the whole way down. This will be a back test of it. If we start reclaiming that, you get worried, right? If we build structure out in here the next few days, there is a bigger upside move coming. As long as we reject this, then I'm thinking about this to trade back down and then rejoining short for new lows. Those are the things setting up over the next few days or even few weeks. Do you guys ever yell at the screen when price gets close to a take profit level? I just did. Yeah, like, of course I do. I try not to yell so much anymore now. Like I used to, you know, back in the day, I can tell you I've gone through quite a few mouses and monitor screens. Good friend of mine, JJ, we used to laugh about, he keeps what he calls a graveyard to remind him never to do it. He has a bunch of smashed up monitors in his office. Yeah, I've definitely bent a monitor over my knee before in anger. Many years ago. Many years ago. I barely shout or do anything anymore. Even when I take a loss because it's manageable. The most stressed I've got in ages was last Tuesday or Wednesday? I forget what day it was when Ninja Trader started messing up. I was the most stressed I've been in a long time on tilt, and I still ended up having an okay green day, and then had a really good end of week. So I've been close, but nothing used to get me like EA Sports. I've definitely been close at throwing a controller at the screen playing COD before. 100%. 100%. All right, look at the squeeze up. All right, you can't be buying this up here. Our entry was so good down. It shows how good the entry was. Do not be buying this into these levels. Think about where we are. Do not get tempted in. All right, every single phase here is just drift. This is shorts are absolutely cooked in this market. They got cooked down here. They added in. They got cooked. They added. They're blowing up. Now we're coming into levels where we actually expect to potentially, it doesn't have to potentially find higher time frame sellers. Now, if we get through there, we can keep going. There are obviously levels to get going. But this was basically ultimate target for me today. So this is why I'm like, well, I've missed everything now because low-hanging fruit, next target here. And get rid of this now. We don't need it. So just make sure You are moving your stop up with this now as we trade up into the top side. Remember, we get a bit thicker here on the volume profile. We've talked about it. You can see these two blocks here, 1, 2, and these are the lows. All right, so we expect some sellers to try and protect this level from all the way from 580 up into 633. And if we're going to do it based on structure, it's basically from 607 up into 684. So you've got to pay yourself some money in this block. Pat, yeah, 100%. Thursday, I'm going to be absolutely ripping that thing, just like old times. Can't wait to have the servers crash and not be able to talk to anyone and all the usual stuff when you get a new Call of Duty game. Return of the OG, yeah, Return of the OG. It would be Dad Squad for us, all us 40-year-olds back online playing together. It should be fun. I'll message you privately, Ryan, so you can add me. We'll get a flush here at some point. You don't get these steep moves without it giving back. Look how steep this is. At some point, you'll get a flush here and then a recovery, I would think. The only thing now is the recovery is hard because we just hit. Look how close we got. If we get under here, be very careful. This is all a squeeze. This whole thing is a squeeze. This is shorts getting caught. We're multi-time frame long right now. This is shorts getting caught. Again, very close to my target, wasn't it? Was my target 604? We just hit 600 on the dot. So do not be buying at the highs. Get out the habit of chasing the market. Get out that habit. Remember, low-hanging fruits have gone. I cannot say that enough. Low-hanging fruits have gone. Done for the day, Jake and Up One. Lovely work. Need a retest of IB before I can make decisions. Yeah, I mean, it might not come back down to IB just based on structure. Remember, look left. It might protect in front of it. I hear what you're saying, but like, you'd want this to be protected, but basically. And the problem is if we slam down here, that might be the bounce for them to sell back into now because we've taken low-hanging fruit. This is when I become less interested. Those who've joined me on stream will know. When do I become less interested? When the low-hanging fruits have gone. What was my trade thesis for the day? Go back to the beginning of stream. I wanted to be a buyer where? If they trap under here, I want to be a buyer and I want to take partials where? Pre-day high, overnight high, runners into 600, and if I'm lucky, 7. What have we done? Pivoted off, trapped sellers, low-hanging fruit, low-hanging fruit, low-hanging fruit, almost hit my final TP. There's not much left I can think about doing right now. Oh, wrong screen, wrong screen. Hopefully you saw it anyway. Yeah, I mean, it can keep going higher. It can keep going higher. I'd want a big shove here, I'd want a big fail here. And then this. This is the only way I think I can get involved right now. All right. I've just come to terms with I'm flat on the day. It's okay. Like, I've come to terms with it. As long as you all made money and as long as you all learned, you can see I'm not flat on the day because I don't know what's going on. I'm flat on the day because I had 2 limit orders that couldn't get picked up. But as long as you are all learning, that's all that matters. As long as you guys make money, that's all that matters. ES protecting previous day high here for now. It's got a 5-day moving average above it if it wants to run for it. Above that on the SPY, we can run for the 20-day. That would be a mean reversion. Same story on the Qs. Same story on the Qs. 5-day, 20-day can be targets if we really get going. I'll take this off. Bear with me, folks. Getting hot now. Shorts are so cooked in this, guys. I cannot tell you how much shorts are cooked in this. The fact that this is not pulling back much at all, that should be telling you why. Why is that happening? All right, because if shorts got cooked here, it pulls back, they're like, oh, get me out break even. Thank God for that. Right? They're absorbing this more than buyers. Mag 7 looking very, very strong here. We haven't talked about that for a minute, but like I said, if the Mag 7 goes green and finds that higher low, again, go back to the beginning of this stream, pre-market information. I said to you, Mag was gapping down, but it had a chance to find a higher low versus yesterday's price action. They all found higher lows. Tesla, 6% up. Nvidia, just under 1%. Meta, 1.3%. Google, 2%. Amazon, 1.31%. Microsoft, 1.63%. Apple, 0.5%. They all found a bid for a higher low. Thanks, Miguel. Miguel saying Trump now talking, so even less chance of me taking a trade now. Fantastic. Might as well take my glasses off. It doesn't matter if I can see anything anymore. My telephone call with President El-Sisi of Egypt went very well. We discussed numerous topics, among which was the tremendous military progress we have made against the ship destroying in South Yemen. Also discussed Gaza and possible solutions, military preparedness. I'm sorry, Miguel. I'm really sorry. If none of you got picked up like me, I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. Sorry that happened. Andrew H, you missed it as well. Hey, man, I'm really that makes me upset. I was hoping most of you would have caught these moves, but tomorrow's a new day. ES holding previous day high here, so it had a bid back down into it, held it for now. Next drive up on the ES will really be looking for a drive into 5,710. On the spiders, that would be 565. On the Qs, we are coming into big levels. All right, NQ, QQQ, back testing very big levels here. DPFTW690. I am, my friend, I am. It's in the works. It's been in the works for years. The problem is NinjaTrader with the algo, or the old version that I had a different engineer do, would print loads of like random orders. It would like trip up over itself and cause issues. And I don't want to release an algo on the market for anyone unless it's working properly. But it's coming. It is coming. All right. Buy signal. We've got everything here for the indicator, and the next job will be for the algo. All right. So it's in the works. I promise you it's in the works. It will probably be a subscription-based model, though. It's literally taken 2-3 years of work and a lot of money. But it's coming. In fact, I emailed Ryan at NinjaTrader last night. Let's see if he's replied. There we go. Yes. What's he saying? I'll get you set up with the tech team to create a license. Should have it for you by the end of the day. Nice. So I should have Flow Zone indicator on sale soon. It'll be a licensed key for Ninja, and I'm moving the trading view onto the same thing. So it'll be one per user. And the new website, hopefully in the next month as well. So everything, all the new stuff about to go live. New indicators for Ninja. I'll do an update for TradingView as well. New website, new free course, and then the algo coming hopefully before the end of the year, if not sooner. Been working hard, folks. Honestly, I've been working very, very hard to get it all done. Trying my best for you lot. Trying my best. Here's a genuine question. Don't and be honest, because I've had a look at the price of indicators on NinjaTrader. And this indicator is going to be very, very powerful. So it's all the flow zones. It's every single key level. Weekly, daily, Asia levels, initial balance levels, opening range levels. Absolutely everything will be in there with signals. What is a fair price, do you think, for that indicator on NinjaTrader? It's a genuine question. What do you think is a fair price? Based on market value, what would you be happy to pay? I'm not trying to rip anyone off. I'm interested in you guys in chat. What is a fair price? Obviously, anyone who's already done the course will get a very, very favorable discount. No, no subscription for the indicator, Pat, I don't think. Just a one-time fee. For the indicator one-time fee, for the algo, it will have to be subscription-based. Well, it's crazy, right? Because I see people doing like some indicators for like 250, 300 quid, and they're trash. $500 to $700. Okay. Good to know. Coop 250 based on that 199 makes sense. Okay, good to know, folks. 250 to 500. What I'll probably end up doing is a very, very favorable rate to those who have done the course. $300 to $400. Yeah, you're all about the same then. $250 to $500, $300 to $400, $199 for students. Yeah, it's all in line with what I was thinking. I'm never thinking too much anyway. I think things can get too expensive in this industry, but at least I feel like I'm giving value. There's basically like eight plus indicators in one. What I want it is so you load it on your screen and that's it. It's done, and then you can turn things on and off as you like. So ES back to PDH here. I won't pay more than 200 for an indicator. Most recent one that allows you to plot VWAPs in NT is nice since there's no fee. Yeah, I understand, Steve. I just feel it's like it's more than an indicator. Do you know what I mean? If it's plotting your Globex high and lows, your opening range for you, your initial balance for you, the multi-time frame different algos for you, the flow zones, momentum and deep pullback, and your daily and your weekly levels. It's just so much there. That's personal, isn't it, Steve? Not using algos since they're not discretionary. Lots of people say the same. Yeah, the banks use algos. So, you know, it really depends how. If you're patient enough to let an algo work over a long period of time that has a good win rate, you'd be okay. If you're looking for fast cash, then probably not. But I totally understand. I mean, I trade discretionary, but I would like my algo to be working quietly in the background for me. What I might be doing is letting my algo work on gold long term. Will this upgrade the existing one on TradingView? Yeah, I'm looking to update this a little bit as well. Yeah. Pretty much, Aaron. Henry, so happy I came across your videos last night. I trade the opening range break, but the way you broke it down was amazing. Also, the video about the 21 EMA helped me so much. I'm at $1,900 on my X phase. Nice work, Henry. The 21 EMA, as in the multi-time frame one, 5 minute, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute. That one. It's good, isn't it? Makes you understand when you've got alignment. I'll look into that, Steve. I'm not sure if that's true with everything, but I'll have a look. Tweet the colors when you first load it. They're harsh. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. No worries. All right, still building out liquidity here. ES right now is dangling around its previous day high. And again, I'm not looking to execute along here. I'm more interested along if we get like a nicer move down. All right, and then we trap. All right, what would that look like? If we get a nice move down and then we trap, right, then I'm looking for executions long. But the big problem is, like I always talk about, low-hanging fruit, low-hanging fruit. There was one here, and this is the next block here. We've taken them all. We've taken all the key levels I wanted to trade up to. So now I've got less interested in the longs because I've got less of a magnet to aim up towards. And really, this is the back test of supply. So we expect sellers to come in here. That's why it's been here all day. We expect sellers to try and protect this level and force the market back down. Good to have the feedback. Appreciate it, folks. It's nice always to see where your head's up. Yeah, I won't price you out the market. I promise. I'll make it reasonable no matter what. Definitely for students, I'll make it very reasonable for you. Make sure I unread that email, otherwise I'll forget to reply to Ryan. All right, so potentially the first higher low on a lower time frame setting up here for that move back down. Again, I'm not looking to trade this short side, but potentially this move. And at this point, somewhere around here, I'd look to see if they protect it for the long. But again, I'm becoming less interested. How long we've got? 25 minutes to lunch. Kind of residing myself that today is probably going to be a bit of a miss for me. I will wait until I can become profitable. That makes sense, Miguel. JD Florida man, can you explain why you enter with limit orders instead of market orders? Yes, of course, because I want to get filled at the price I want to get filled. Yeah, so down here, zoom in. I was in front of 300. I was going wick to wick. So my limit was right on this guy here. I was hoping we'd drift into this because if we did a little fib from here to here, all right, I was basically looking for a drift between the 50 and 61. Maybe I should have just taken that, hindsight. So I wanted to get a fill here at 303. Now, I didn't get the fill, and that's the problem with limits. Now, sometimes I will market, but what I'd say is, based on this, let's say I marketed it in here, all right, and I slap market. There's a good chance by the time that fills, all right, even though it fills fast, if we get that quick move back up and it fills me at 50, there's 40 points I've just missed out on. All right, because this market moves fast. Imagine here as well, you market in here at 70 and it fills you here at 90. It's okay because in this occasion, the market keeps going higher. But what happens if you market in here, it fills you here, this candle, this little swipe candle comes and it comes straight back down? You're going to be so annoyed, right? So there's times when I will market. I would argue I probably could have hit a market order here. It was probably tight enough. There wasn't too much volume. The volume was going down. We talked about this. Pullback volume is what you want to see before the volume comes in. Here's the big push. Here's the volume. This is exactly what you want to see. This is exactly what you want to see in a bullish trend, right? We talk about it. If you go over the pullback module in the course, we talk about this. This is probably an occasion where I could have got away with the market. What I don't like is when we're moving aggressively to try and market in. It just leaves you open to getting caught in a market which moves away quickly and can get a bit more spready. Now, in ES, the chance of that happening is very slim. In NQ, I've definitely had it before where I've hit a market and taken a dodgy fill, especially in a market which is volatile. We have increased volatility. You know, average, I would say average on the day isn't too bad right now. Your ATR average M1 is around 34 points. The highs of the day are, let's just have a look what this is. High of the day is around 60 points. Not too bad compared to other days. We've had 100 points. So that's the main reason. Are the high time frame, lower time frame algos based on hourly, daily, weekly? Are they indicating key levels or some sort of buy-sell system? And they can't give away too much there. They took a lot of back testing. They are levels which I know the market back tests back and forwards between to dictate major trend and liquidity build. I'm not going to give more than that, I'm afraid. Yeah, so this level here, this is your lower time frame algo. This guy here. Sorry, this is higher time frame algo. Respected it, traded above it. Respected it. So we go trade below, peak above, trade below, tap it, trade below. Where do we squeeze? Through that algo. Lower time frame algo came into play a lot yesterday once we traded through the lower time frame algo. Here's lower time frame algo protecting all the sells. Once we got over that yesterday, we went into buy cycle. Where does it want it buy up to? From lower time frame algo to higher time frame algo. Once the lower time frame algo gets through the higher time frame algo, which is not yet, we'll go into a major potential buy cycle. That's all I'm going to tell you. Again, years of back testing. A lot of work has gone into this stuff. Brad D, any recommendations to run NinjaTrader? I'm a Mac user and I would like a PC for trading only. Yes, just a decent gaming PC. A decent gaming PC with some good RAM in it. It's not too juicy, Ninja, but running Ninja on Mac is a bit shite. I used to do it. You'd have to run Parallels. Not very good. If you're running on Mac, you're better off using Tradeovate or something web-based or trading on TradingView itself. If you're interested in NinjaTrader, definitely need to be Microsoft-based. 16 gig RAM, I think, is ideal. Probably don't need that much. Half-decent graphics card. That's about it. Don't need to spend a fortune, but anything half-decent in terms of a gaming computer would be enough. If you build it yourself, you can probably build it for $1,000, $1,500. If you're going to buy it, it might cost you a bit more. Probably been asked a million times, but what's your average win rate? Around 76%. Around 76%. But as you've seen, I'm very fussy. I'm very, very fussy. And sometimes my win rate will drop down a lot. And normally, if I'm dropping down a lot on win rate, it's normally because I'm taking a lot of break evens or like tiny losses, and they pull my trades down. I'm fairly proactive in that if a trade moves in my direction, I like to get my stop moved up and then try and let it go and let it work. And if it knocks me out, I always have this thesis. I'm like, if it knocks me out, I don't care. I'll re-enter. And if it takes me 3-4 entries to re-enter, I will. Logan, I run NinjaTrader from Windows VPS. So, I mean, I used to try and do that back in the day. I really struggled with it. It would lag a lot, but maybe you got a better. Maybe the newer Macs are capable of doing it. NinjaTrader only uses 20% of what my 2 or 3 Chrome windows use, as far as PC or RAM. Yeah, it's not too juicy. VIX finding a bit of a bid here off previous day low, turning back inside, coming to retest its initial balance. And previous day close, VIX having that little shove upside, increasing sell pressure a little bit on the ES, which is starting to let go of previous day high. ES can afford a back test. So far, it's holding. All right, it's holding that old high from yesterday, previous day high. It can drop down into 662 on the ES. If it wants to drop down to 662, failing that, 650. All right, so there are buy zones setting up lower if it will drift down into those areas. You can see what we talked about now on the hourly. Why is the hourly so important? Where are we finding this rejection? Where was there a bit of a block here? Right here. Looking left, what is there? What is this? This is SBR. Very simple Malaysian SNR. Support becomes resistance. This is our first test. It's a fresh level, as Malaysians would call it. Move down. This is our first test. It's a fresh test. First test, the best test. Second test, not so good. Might not move away. Third test, we probably let go and get through. But all the good moves have probably been and gone today. Unless we get very, very lucky and we get a deep pullback with a trap, with enough shorts getting caught in it that we can get more upside. I really don't understand your advanced indicators yet, but I like the easy ones. Previous day high, previous day low, previous week high, previous week low. I understand those. That price could be reasonable the price could be reasonable for the team. Yeah, it will be reasonable. I'm never unreasonable. I'm never unreasonable. I feel like I offer very good value. I'm never going to outprice you from the market. Not here looking to charge you thousands and thousands of dollars. Definitely not. It will be in the low hundreds, I would have thought. So finding a bid here, still not drifted low enough for me to really entertain. Sure I'm on the right one, on the wrong one for you. So finding a bid here in towards this level here is where I'm interested. 508. And the initial balance and previous day high. Anyway, around here would be good. I want to see like this, really. Ideally. You offer great value in trading. I thank you so much for that. Oh, no worries, Trentry. It's always the same team here all the time. I know we've slowed down a bit here because I'm not taking a trade. I'm looking for a deeper pullback. If it doesn't come, I'm not going to get it. I cannot be chasing the highs here. If it's going to go without me, it's going to go. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I think that's kind of where my head was at, Coop. It's kind of like very close to where I was thinking those kind of numbers. All right, so ES reclaiming previous day high, rejection there on previous day close, IBL on the VIX. Market trying to find a little bit of a bump up. It didn't quite come deep enough for me to really entertain that, but we are setting up a new long here. It's unfortunate. I really wanted some form of trap down here before buying. If it pulls back in here, it might offer that trade upside, but we're so close to the upside move now. It's really hard to sort of think about participating here. Remember my initial buy this morning, attempt of the buy this morning was down here at 300. We're now priced up at 600. It's 300 points higher than where I was looking to buy. Drifting higher here. It's going to take up the highs here by the looks of it. Oh! Still holding the flow zones. Everything remains bullish. Alex is just being fussy. He's being a cheapskate, wanting it to backtest better prices. Right, I'm going to use the bathroom here, folks. I'll be right back. All right, so not much change here. Possibility of it building out a new range here. Definitely a possibility of it building out a new range here for the next move. Still think this wants to drift higher, but the value has gone now. It's absolutely gone, but we're building out that sort of flag. What do I just say when we're here? If we pull back and hold this, probably goes while I was in the toilet. Probably did it. So if you grab that, it's probably looking pretty good. You must take money off into 600. Cannot be holding and hoping. You've got to pay yourself here. These are big levels that we're trading into right now. Previous week low would be 358. Right, way lower. Remember, we swept previous week low. Around here. These were previous week lows. Way higher than that right now. Still bullish for me. It remains bullish. Maybe one more shove up. And then maybe some sellers come into the market into lunch or after C. They're trying to get a shove up so they can probably sell into lunch and walk away laughing at all the shorts that they got cooked. Yeah, just look at the weekly chart. You can just mark it out here. Here's your weekly chart. Previous week low. Right down here, isn't it? 359, 358. Just trying to back test into this block here. Remember, this is where we know this is a SBR and this is an old anchored VWAP. We're coming right into the SBR level. It's not a position you want to initiate longs into. You want to be long from lower. Right? You want to be long. Ideally, I wanted to be long. I wanted one trap down here. So either a little bit on here and more on here and then selling some into this move. Do not want to be initiating new long positions in supply. All right, the same way this morning, it's the same rules. We don't want to be initiating short positions into demand, do we? All right, this was an RBS. Resistance becomes support. Now we're into an SBR. This is support becomes resistance. It's just structural base. That's all it is. Lots of ways to talk about it differently. Some call it supply, some will call it order blocks, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. The principles are the same. We're back testing levels that buyers got stuck at. Don't want to get long into them. You want to get long before that move. Cladden, I'm done for the day, team. Take care, mate. Hopefully you made some money. Hopefully most of you on stream made some money with me today. Hoping we can take a bit of a dive here and maybe give me the opportunity to grab something later. It's still just building out a range here at the highs. When we build out ranges, it's very bullish. Building out ranges is very bullish at highs, but again, just missed the opportunity I wanted. Almost lunch, 7 minutes left, folks. A new hour bar coming in 7 minutes. You might get some volume starting to taper off here. Very, very possible. $111 likes. Thank you, folks. Thank you for everyone that's been joining. All the new members. All the new people doing the course. Looking forward to working with you. Again, I'm not interested in buying up here. We're too close to supply for me. I know we're bullish, but we're too close to supply. I would need to see some form of bear trap. I would need to see bears get stuck down here. That's the only point at which I'll be interested in. Some sort of wash of this and reclaim, something like that. Maybe it's a drip down and then a turn and burn. Otherwise, acceptance under here. No trades for me under here today. You can just chop all day. No trades under here. This was the probable move. Actually, this was the probable move. Sloth says hi. Hey, preppy Arabella. Hello, Sloth. You doing good? Yes, still holding previous day high here. Potentially trying to do that inverse head and shoulders look. It's possible on the ES. It's possible. All the time it's holding PDH. We are fairly far away from those kind of levels right now on the Qs. That's the problem. But market looking very bullish here. Tesla 6.30% up. Nvidia 0.70% up. Meta 1.5%. Google over 2%. Amazon 1.25%. Microsoft just under 1.5%. And Apple sluggish 0.13%. But over that 220, we talk about that 220 level all the bloody time with Apple. Big, big level. Trades back and forth, over, under, over, under, over, under. New hourly bar coming soon. Hey. Sorry, folks. Big old yawn. Give my eyes a rest here for a bit. Can't initiate trade here, so just relaxing, coming into lunch. Just got to hope something sets up for me in the afternoon, really. I'm going to have probably go for a big lift in the gym. Chest day today. Chest and tries, and I'll probably do the horrible, horrible Stairmaster, which I cannot stand. Looks like it's a nice day outside. It was raining in Los Angeles yesterday. Looks like a good day. So I'll get out in the sun, go for a walk with my dog, get some food, come back in the afternoon and hope, although I'm not feeling great about it, hoping there's a setup for me. But like I said, very, very likely this has done everything I've wanted to see. This has done everything we talked about pre-market already. Only thing left is if it really wants to drift up towards those high 680, 700. But other than that, it's going to have to offer me a pullback to get there. It's going to have to use this liquidity for me. If I'm going to be interested in this, this has to be liquidity I can use later, which is looking good so far because we got a bit of a double top, which is what I want to see. Drift down here, build liquidity, turn, build more, then I feel good about a drive up, partial, 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 all the way up. That's what I would like to do. That's the setup for me for the rest of the day. If it gets up there without me, then it's not setting up what I want. Favorite place to get the news? Probably Financial Juice is where I get most of mine. There we go. I had to do 10 sets of squats with only 10-second rest, 50% of my max lift. Ugh. That takes me back to my rugby days. That is enough to make me want to throw up. Bet your quads were on fire, my friend. All right, 15 seconds here until you get a new hourly bar, and we're into lunch. And that is going to be it for me today, folks, live on stream. Sorry I didn't catch them, but you guys did, and that's all that matters. We called it nice and early. I broke down the trades, what I was looking for and why. This is the most important thing. When people like give me signals. When are you entering? Like sometimes I miss it, but we talked about this all day long. I want to see a trap at the low, a pivot, and a buy signal. There it is. There's your buy, and hit all the targets, didn't it? All the targets. So those who are with me on stream, especially those who are doing the course, know exactly what they're looking for. And I'll be back same time tomorrow, all right? 9:15, 9:20 in the morning. We will do some pre-market work together, have a look at the higher time frames, and then we're going to try and trade tomorrow. I'm going to say this now. Tomorrow, I'm using tiny size. Tiny size. I'm not expecting much either, but I'm very, very worried about this tariff situation because two things can happen. There's a big escalation in these tariffs, or there's a de-escalation in the tariffs, and it's all been a bit of a bluff, and he rolls them all back. And then what happens is we priced in max pain, and we're going to go the other way. So I'm going to be very cautious because I'm expecting major volatility. I know the talk is actually coming later in the day, but you've got to be careful if they start pricing it in early. That's it for me. Do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm here every single day. If you're interested in doing the course, the link is down below. One-time fee, $649 for the course and the trading view indicator and the Discord. You're grandfathered into that stuff. Prices will start to change as more and more indicators and algos start to be developed. And everyone in the Discord, I will see you after lunch. Give me I'll pop in now and say hello, and then give me an hour and a half, and I'll be back. If you're holding runners, here's your 600, 680, 700s next. Peace and love. Take care. Speak to you real soon.